this video, we want to see how we can use the keys, the API keys that we've just downloaded from the UI for Ensign, and how to put those into a code snippet. So I'm going to show an example of how to do that. And so when we download API keys, they come as a JSON file, and it's usually called client.json. So this is kind of an example of what you would see, and we can wrap it so we can see it's a dictionary that has two things in it, a client ID and a client secret. These aren't real, but you can pretend that those are the ones that we just downloaded. So the idea is that we want to be able to load that file from inside our code snippet. So I've written this function here called load keys that's going to try to open up this file and call json.load. And if it works, it'll return that JSON object as a dictionary, a Python dictionary. And then from inside our init function, we can call that load keys method to get our keys, and then we can access the components of those keys, the client ID and the client secret, and put those into our call to Ensign, which will create a connection that we can use. So the critical thing is we don't want to commit our keys to GitHub. So how are we going to protect ourselves from that? Well, we're going to go to our project's gitignore file, which is, basically all of the things that are not going to get committed to GitHub. If you don't already have a gitignore, you can just create one. So add a new file to your repository that's called .gitignore. And this will sort of automatically work. So we want to make sure that this file, client.json, is gitignored. That'll make sure that we never accidentally commit our keys to GitHub. So I'm going to click Save. And what's interesting, and you'll see that if you're using a tool like VS Code or another code editor, when you save this gitignore file with the line client.json, the file here in the file directory is grayed out, which indicates that it's been ignored. So that's how you can validate that you're not going to accidentally commit this to GitHub. So now here inside of our repository, and I'm inside my fork of the data playground repository here. If I do git status, it'll show that I've updated the gitignore for the repository, but it doesn't show the client.json file. And that's how we can be confident that we haven't actually committed that. So I'll say git add. And I'll push that up. And now if I go to this link in my browser, here, you'll see that we've got the file that has our load keys function, but the actual keys are not in this commit at all. So we've successfully protected the integrity. So we do need to go ahead and merge this to make sure that we protect ourselves and our teammates moving forward. But that's how you can use your Ensign API keys.